Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out a lovely little game called Doom. Yes, really, it's not exactly what you expect to see on this channel, but it is Homebrew, available on the Vita, and it's something I have wanted to have a look at for a while, and I've been playing a lot of crap games lately, so I figured I'd go and play something that's actually good. Or at least something I can verify that's actually good, because I've played so much Doom in the past that, well, it just seems like a shocker of a choice. Like, you know, it'll be absolutely perfect. So, this is the menu that you start off with. Now, this is Chocolate Doom. It is a source port of the game, and it also has support for a bunch of the other games as well, like Heretic, and I believe this also has support for games like Hacks and Chex Quest. I haven't tried any of those out. I've mainly been playing Doom and Doom 2, because those are the two I had on hand. And this is absolutely fine, of course, for those two games. We do have a bunch of options here we can come have a look at. Like, we can change how the game fits to the screen, we can change how it scales, and we can do a couple of other things, nothing too out of the ordinary for a source port. Change how the sound sounds like and how high quality it is. We can change some of our controls, but there is something here that I really don't like that we'll get to in a minute. I always have always run turned on as well. You can change your buttons for pretty much everything, which is nice, including using the front touch for your map. That's actually pretty cool. And you can load in different things like different custom files and dehacked patches, and that's actually a pretty neat set of extendability. As far as I can tell, this won't support Brutal Doom though, because Chocolate Doom is meant to be more of a as close to the vanilla experience as possible without many extra features sort of port, so there you go. You can even change things like bloody demos and stuff like that, which is kind of neat. And you can actually play this online or I think this is actually just local, but I haven't actually tried it out because I don't have a second Vita equipped with Homebrew. Why not? So let's just go and load into Doom. It will load up a very familiar screen to those of you who either A, grew up in the late 90s, or B, have a bit of a fetish for the late 90s, i.e. me. I was actually born in 1993, so this game came out originally when I was about 6 months old, which is certainly something, I must say. So the fact that I'm playing a game that is almost as old as me and actually enjoy it as much as I do is really quite something. So you don't have that much you can change while you're in here. Most of the stuff you have to do is in the, most of the stuff that you really need to do is in that configuration thing there. But you can change the screen size if you like, including going full screen, but I like having the status bar down there. And there's also mouse sensitivity, which really doesn't help much. You can also change the sound volume if you like, but I'm not going to do that because it's Doom. Anyone who doesn't have the sound on while they're playing Doom is a heretic. So we could go new game, but I actually have a save game in here that we're going to load up. This is halfway through episode 1, Knee Deep in the Dead. And I don't know what to say about Doom that hasn't been said about it already, so I'm just going to shoot things for a couple of minutes. Because why the hell not? Doom is definitely one of those guilty pleasures of mine, even just regular old vanilla Doom. Like, people would be like, you know, you should play with Brutal Doom. Brutal Doom is the best fucking thing since sliced bread. And I half agree, because Brutal Doom is actually awesome, and it's half the reason Doom 2016 exists in the first place. But at the same time, I still love my original vanilla Doom. I love it to death. It is honestly one of the best first-person shooters out there, mainly because it was one of the first, and it was the one that basically codified the entire genre for several years. I mean, imagine making a game so popular that it would be called Doom clones. Anything that tried to follow along in your footsteps would be called a Doom clone. Imagine that. Like, imagine if we called games like Spelunky clones, or, well, I mean, to be fair, we do call them roguelikes, but just imagine that sort of thing. Like, imagine if every modern military shooter out there was called a Call of Duty clone. That would be silly. But yes, so for those of you who don't know, Doom is a very simple first-person shooter. There is one goal and one goal alone. Get to the end as quickly as humanly possible. Well, not so much as quickly as humanly possible, but the quicker you get there, the less trouble you're likely going to be in, which is a nice start. And the game layout is very simple. You have a gun and you shoot things. In fact, this game is so old that they didn't even have vertical movement yet. This is all based on an engine that doesn't even support 3D planes. So, while you can have things like ramps and stairs, you can't have rooms on top of each other. It's all based on a flat palette, which you can tell by looking at the map here. You can see on the map that it's all two-dimensional, which is it's actually really neat just because of the amount of crap they would have had to get through to get this working on PCs back in 1993. I'm always impressed when I play this game with just how simple it is, but how good it is at the same time. The game doesn't actually have any vertical aiming whatsoever, which you would expect, considering that this game doesn't have any vertical movement of any kind whatsoever. Sure, dudes could be above you, but that would mean they'd have to be on a different block, like that. So, there's no vertical aiming. It will aim your shots up automatically at the enemies, which is very nice. And the controls are very simple. Move with the left stick, aim with the right stick, fire with the right shoulder button, run with the left, although I have always run turned on, so that does nothing for me. And you can change your weapons using the triangle and circle button, and that's pretty much it. Oh, uses on square. It's really, like, nothing complicated whatsoever, which is actually, you know, a good thing, because it's Doom. However, there is one major problem with this port's controls. The Doom itself controls like a dream. Like, you have never played a game like Doom before, and if you haven't played Doom before, I should say, you've never much played a game like it with this control scheme, and you'll never play one like it ever, well, probably not ever again, but at the same time, there's just something so smooth, simple, and stylish about the way Doom handles that it stands out even amongst all the people that were trying to clone it way back when it originally came out. It is a treasure of a thing. But the one problem with this port is that the analog stick movement, specifically on the right stick, is incredibly twitchy. Now, it's got, I don't know what the exact word for it is, but I think it's negative acceleration. So the way it works is you push the joystick just a tiny little bit and it'll move very slowly to begin with. But within a quarter of a second, it will fling your aim across the screen like fucking Superman trying to throw a baseball. It is honestly ridiculous, and it makes it legitimately hard to aim, because you don't know. I mean, you can kind of get used to it, but the amount of effort you have to put into aiming in a precise fashion is kind of insane. Because your aim just moves so slow, and then it moves so bloody quick, that you have to just be doing tiny little taps like that and hoping that you don't go just far enough to throw it off the bloody building. It's honestly kind of frustrating. That's the only major problem with the controls of this port, though. Now, the game does run at the full 30 FPS. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if this source port is running at 60 or not, but yeah, it feels fine. It's absolutely smooth and capable. In fact, the original frame rate of this game was 35 because it ran on 70Hz monitors, which is something else entirely. I mean, it's the only game I've ever heard of that runs at 35. There's probably some DOS games that do, but there you go. But still, it runs absolutely fine on the Vita. You'd bloody hope so, because the fact that this is a bloody 20-something-year-old computer game, 25 to be specific, because I am 25. But the fact that this is a 25-year-old game, you would hope it runs perfectly fine on hardware like this. So yeah, usual deal. Get to the end of the level. Find all the keys along the way and use them to unlock doors. And you've also got a bunch of different weapons. The weapon I'm using right now is the mainstay. It's the shotgun. Pretty much every weapon in this game, except like the plasma rifle, is just something that every game and every gamer that grew up with this knows off by heart. So you got the shotgun, you've got the pistol, which is completely useless. You have fists, and a rocket launcher I just blew myself half to buggery with, and now you get to see what happens when you die in this game and forget to save at the beginning. Yep, I'm back here, and I have absolutely no weapons now, because that's something Doom did. You can save at absolutely any time, so you should always save at the beginning of a level. Guess who didn't? Guess who's paying for it? Yeah, the pistol. It's a bit piss weak. You don't want to use it for much longer after you get your shotgun. Especially once you're low on ammo on it, like I am. Yeah, now that I've got the shotgun, I can actually get back to work on actually blasting dudes. There is the chain gun, there is the rocket launcher, There is the plasma rifle, which I don't think comes in. I don't think the plasma rifle or the BFG 9000 actually come in on this world, but on this episode, I should say, because in Doom 1, the game split into 4 episodes. There were 3 originals and then one that was added as part of the Ultimate Doom retail release. And I really shouldn't stand so close to that barrel when I'm trying to shoot. Yes. And the 4 different episodes are about 7 to 8 levels long. There are some hidden levels you can find. And it's kind of the same with Doom 2. Doom 2's levels are all in a straight road, but it still works about the same. You still have 3 keys to find, enemies to gun down, and all sorts of fun shit to take care of. I'll actually, I'll load into Doom 2 and show off the super shotgun and all that when I get the opportunity. But yeah. Basic drill is that Doom is fantastic. It still is. The enemies are all great, and there are some neat things you can do with them, like monster infighting, which was always one of my favorite mechanics in these games, where if you get enemies to shoot each other, they will fight each other to the death and save you the ammo. This is actually something you really need to do on the higher difficulties. The higher difficulties are... Whoops. The higher difficulties are insane in this... Did I just get myself killed again? No, wait a minute. Hidden wall. Yay. I even got a rocket launcher. Let's put that away immediately. Yep, there are secrets throughout every level. There's tons of them, and they will always give you something useful, which is nice. And the actual action of it is fantastic. Again, the enemies are all intelligent, the level designs are great, and it's not a game where you can hide behind cover and hope for the best, because they will come and kill you. The best thing to do in this game is to always be moving, which is why I've always got run turned on, because not running in this game means that you are more likely to get hit by bullets. And when you get hit by bullets, the closer you are, the more damage you take, which is an interesting concept. The levels are mazes, and they have tons of dudes in them. Like I see, look at that. He shot his own dude in the back, and the soldier would have turned around and started shooting his mate if he had lived long enough to tell the tale, but yeah, he didn't. Screw you guys. Running a bit low on health, unfortunately. Oh, that's an invisible demon. One thing I really want to pull attention to is the sound design as well. Now, a lot of these tracks are ripped off. This game was made on 70s and 80s metal, pizza, and just a general fuck all attitude for the world. So there is a ton of very familiar beats in this game that you can find if you are looking for them. And it all sounds great, although it is very old these days, and it's, I mean, like, it's not that big of a deal that it's quite old, but at the same time, it still gives the game a unique atmosphere that most games don't have today, which is nice. I mean, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Yay, environmental suit. Oh, there's, super armor up there. No, let's not. Let's, shit, where do I go now? Yep, here comes the maze-like levels. Ooh! Hidden wall? No? No? Okay. Yeah, the levels in this game are absolutely mazes. They are huge. They have... Oh yeah, right, here we go. They are huge, they have tons of dudes to fight off in them, and every level can take upwards of like 20-something minutes if you aren't particularly good at the game. I'm better than most, but the aiming and just my general lack of not having played Doom in a couple of years means that I'm kind of in a bad spot. So I'm not doing particularly great. But still, you can put a lot of time into Doom easily. And not to mention that speedrunning levels is actually really satisfying, because you can just slam through them once you know what direction you need to go in. Bloody Doom speedruns are the coolest thing to watch in the world, especially if they're on high difficulties. Oh, I'm still being shot from somewhere. Behind me. Prick. One thing I do want to point out, though, is the monster sound design, because there is... You can stealth in this game, sometimes. Like, they don't let you, like, stealth all the time. This isn't like Thief with demons, but they do let you... They do let you sneak around if monsters haven't noticed you yet. There are several situations where this does actually come in use to you, and you can choose whether or not to engage. However, there are some situations where you can convince everyone to fight each other without having to fire off a single shot. It's really quite wonderful just how the design is handled in this game, especially when you're in really fucking dark hallways like this, because you can hear when a monster has gained its attention. When you've gained a monster's attention, you can hear it. And then you can freak the fuck out because you don't know exactly where they are. And when it comes to these invisible fucking demons, it gets even worse because you can't bloody see them in dark hallways. Yeah, it's dead. Alright, just making sure. Can't see shit. But yeah, the just overall design of everything Doom related is magnificent. It really is a wonderful example of... Oh god, I remember this room. I never got very good luck with this room, which is why I'm blowing up as many barrels as I can... Oh shit. Which is why I'm blowing up as many barrels as I can see in advance. And there are, of course, more layers to it. Like, for example, you have to pick up things like health pickups along the way because you're kind of screwed without them. But you might think to yourself, should I save that med kit for when I need more? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm dead. Let's go swap the Doom 2. Unfortunately, this might result in the source port crashing. Oh no, I actually get to see the end screen that time. That's neat. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the resource management is one big part of the game. You think to yourself, oh, should I save this health for when I need it? Or should I continue, should I take it now in case I run into a big problem? Super shoddy. There's so much in such a simple game, and it still manages to be absolutely fantastic. Even after 25 years, it still feels great. Obviously, if you haven't played, like, Brutal Doom before, I fully recommend you go try that one out, because Brutal Doom is actually pretty damn good. It is a great little improvement on the... It's a great little improvement on Doom. But really, it's its own... It feels more... That feels like more like its own thing. Brutal Doom feels more like its own thing than just regular old vanilla Doom does. And yeah, I still have a soft spot in my heart for vanilla Doom. I really do love it to death. It is such a good game. Even 25 years later, people are still playing it. You can hop on the Doom. You can hop on like a Doom multiplayer server to this day. Not that many in Australia, unfortunately. You'd be lucky to find one or two Mega Man 8-bit deathmatch, but still, oh Christ. Oh, now I've done it. Yep, there was a bloody, not invisible guy, well, invisible demon, really, in there. Let's load my game back up so I don't have to do that again. I actually see him there. Oh, hi. Oh, there is one other thing that Doom 2 added. Actually, no, this was in Doom 1, my apologies, but still. There is some sick pleasure in chainsawing shotgun dudes. Just because of how fun it is. This is the chain gun, by the way. Great for taking out weak hordes. And the other thing about Doom, at least the original Dooms, that make it so great is the unbelievable amount of moddability. With Doom and Doom 2, there are hundreds of gigabytes of user levels, total conversions, and all sorts of, like, extra pieces of content that you can play and run with in just in general, really, with Doom and Doom 2. There are so many levels and so many conversions, like, even from the basic stuff, like Aliens Doom and Simpsons Doom, all the way up to things like, well, Brutal Doom is probably the best example of just how it took all the base stuff and just really ratcheted it up about 2,500 notches, and things like Project Brutality, and there's like the Doom, there's a roguelike one. Bloody Hideous Destructor is my favorite example of a mod in Doom, just because of how stupid it is. It is Arma in Doom. Arma, the military simulator in Doom. That is the best way to describe it. Demons can and will kill you in like 2 shots. You will have guns that you need to reload. You need to bandage yourself. You need to blow the ever-loving crap out of everything while you're basically in a real human body. It is ridiculous, it is dumb, and I love it. I just need to remember where the bloody hell the blue door key is. There, it's right there. Of course it is. Ow. 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 See what I mean about the aiming in this game? It is, in this port at least, really is quite something. I know, I don't want to hit the button behind me until I clean this out, because you only get one shot at this. Hi. Oh, hi. And there's one more. Hi. The Super Shotty is still awesome to use to this very day. Alright, let's go. Oh, nope. Hang on. I can never figure out how to get that bloody thing to lower for me more than once. It's infuriating. One of the source ports I like playing with actually lets you jump, which is certainly something you aren't able to do in this version of the game, but it is super satisfying to be able to just jump up small ledges like that and completely break the level design. Oop, I just walked into the pit again and I'm gonna die. Yeah. Well, that was about 25 minutes. Oh, well, not 25 minutes, like 20 minutes of Doom, but yeah, there we go. That was about 25 minutes of Doom. It's still fantastic. The maze wandering, demon slaughtering, rocket shoot yourself in the face and kill yourself in game is still a wonderful example of a first-person shooter. There are, of course, things I would change today, but at the same time, there is absolutely nothing wrong with picking up a good old game of Doom and just playing it. Except on this. Don't get the Chocolate Doom port because of the way the aiming works. It really sucks and I don't like it. But other than that, go play Doom even if you play it somewhere else. This has been Blue Maxima and I will see you all next time.